This New York Rangers season has been a complete disaster and a complete disappointment as well for New York Rangers fans who, coming into this season, I think, on the bottom end of things, as Rangers fans, we're thinking we're going to be a lock to make the playoffs. And on the high end there, we're thinking we could possibly end up being a true Stanley Cup contender. And now, obviously, this season so far, this New York Rangers team has kind of shown us that they are not going to be a Stanley Cup contender, that's for sure, and very well are not even going to end up being a playoff contending team either, let alone making the playoffs at all either. With the way they've been playing, they continue to fall further and further away from not just, the top three spots in the Metropolitan Division, but also those two wildcard spots in the Eastern Conference. So in today's video, we're really going to take a look at kind of how the New York Rangers, I think, are facing some of their issues that we have seen for seasons and seasons now. It's just really coming to life now. We're really seeing these kind of issues that we have had for so long really kind of arise here and really are being the root of the problems for this New York Rangers kind of just awful play so far this season. We're obviously not getting bailed out by certain aspects of this team as well. So I think that is also factoring into the amount of losses that we have seen from this team so far in this 2024-2025 season, which has been a complete and utter disappointment. And what I'm trying to get at is basically that I think there have been some issues and problems with the way this New York Rangers team has been constructed for seasons and season now. And it's not just, one or two little things here and there. I think there are multiple kind of big issues that we have seen for years and years now that are really being shown off this regular season where, some of the things that have bailed us out in the past and have kind of carried us along in the regular season even are not really showing up this season there, which are kind of factoring into the amount of losses and just kind of horrible games that we are seeing so far out of this New York Rangers team. And there obviously are some other factors as well. I mean, this team looks completely depleted of energy, of life, of just kind of eagerness to go out there and get that win. They play with just really little to no energy or just fight or will on the ice out there at moments. So I think with the way this team has kind of playing this season, there are obviously some major issues, but I really think some of the ones that we have just consistently seen over the past years are really being shown off. For example, relying on our goaltenders way too much. And at moments so far this season, we have seen our goalies have some pretty, bad games, for example, whereas in previous seasons, Jonathan Quick was great last season. For the most part, Igor was, really solid, except for a bit at the start there, kind of for the most part. So, when our goalies aren't playing at their top, or at least not near at their top, we see some of these games where the Rangers are getting blown out by a decent amount or allowing just a crazy amount of goals because defensively, this Rangers team is definitely not sound. They get it worked at 5-on-5, the forwards and defense do. We are not tough enough in our own zone. That is an absolute fact. So that also kind of ends up being, kind of worked into that, getting outplayed there because you can't win that puck battle. So the other team keeps the puck in your zone. They're cycling it around. They continue to get shots where we're obviously seeing us get outshot every single game, pretty much, it feels like. So I think there are some major issues here. You're consistently getting outshot. You're getting outplayed at 5-on-5, way too soft, lack so much physicality, relying on your goaltenders way too much. And also the fact that, we have had pretty good special teams in the past, being one of the better teams for the most part for penalty kill percentage and power play percentage. Well, this season, the Rangers have been fairly mediocre and bad at some of these areas there on special teams. So, that has also been a major kind of factor in some of these losses where we're not getting those power play goals and we're not, doing as well in the penalty kill where, that's obviously coming back to bite us a bit as well. So a lot of these issues, I think, are just kind of piling up here that we've seen over the years. They're relying on goaltenders way too much, consistently getting outshot, getting outplayed at 5-on-5, not being able to score enough at 5-on-5 for just in general moments, the major lack of toughness, physicality, the major lack of puck movement on the back end, and the overall size and just kind of defensive play, as well as special teams. It's all kind of piling up into one, I feel like, this season, and we're really just seeing a complete disaster of a season because of the culmination of all these different issues and problems that we have had for so many years now. I mean, it has been a very long time where I think Rangers fans have been kind of talking about how this team is a little too soft, doesn't have enough physicality and toughness, and is getting outworked at 5-on-5, is consistently getting outshot. And it's not just been with Peter Laviolette; it's been with Gallant. and some previous coaches as well. So I don't necessarily think this is a, just kind of, a Peter Laviolette kind of coaching issue where, we did see him, have some pretty great success with this team, last season. In his first season coaching the New York Rangers, he obviously took this team all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, losing in Game 6 to the eventual Stanley Cup champion. So it's not like he didn't do a great job at all last season and maybe just kind of continue that in this season where he just is a bad coach and has no resume and has never done anything good. He has a great resume as a NHL head coach, and at the pro level, he's done a phenomenal job winning a Stanley Cup, winning a Calder Cup, making the NHL Finals 3 different times with 3 different teams. So he is a very talented coach. He obviously had some great success last season, so I don't think that he is kind of the main issue here and the main reason and kind of why we're seeing so many of these things. And I don't think he's completely not to blame, that for sure, because he does deserve some of the blame there, especially with some of the lack of effort and energy and kind of fight that these guys do play with at moments. So he's to blame for that for sure, for some of it. But I think overall, it's the construction of this roster that has been the issue for years and years now, and is the reason kind of why the Rangers have not been able to get over the hump, even back in the Lundqvist days, when Henrik Lundqvist was, our elite franchise goaltender. This New York Rangers team relied on him way too much. We saw that over multiple playoff runs over his NHL career, where this Rangers team was not built good enough or really even, like a true kind of top tier team in the NHL, but because they had Henrik Lundqvist, an elite goaltender who always showed up for the most part when things mattered most. You obviously can see some of those flaws kind of get swept under the rug there, where, Lundqvist kind of bails his team out there. And we're seeing that kind of same stuff in the playoffs. On these runs, we made it all the way to the conference finals against Tampa. And this past season, and even the first round exit against the Devils, where Igor is really having to do a major load of the work there. He's having to kind of bail this team out at moments and really kind of steal some games here and there in the playoffs, even where that's when he's playing his best hockey. But you see that in the regular season there when, Igor is not that elite top tier guy, which he's not going to be every single game because goalies are fairly inconsistent. Obviously you're going to see some major kind of just bad performances by a Rangers team who have some major issues on this roster. We have not constructed this roster in the right way, and that is the reason kind of why I do think Chris Drury should be fired, and I don't necessarily think Peter Laviolette is the issue, but if you fire Chris Drury, your general manager, you're pretty much guaranteed to fire your head coach there because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The new general manager will probably want his guy, although maybe a new GM would want Laviolette because I do think he is a pretty solid head coach there. I just think the way this roster has been constructed there, I just don't think it's a good enough job. I mean, we have known for season and season now about these issues, and Chris Drury has continuously not gone out there and fixed them. I mean, this past offseason, I kind of thought we were going to see some fairly big-sized moves there to really kind of bolster the squad and fix some of these issues that we definitely know we have. I mean, we saw that Florida series there. If you watched it, the major thing that kind of stuck out there was the lack of physicality and toughness going up against a team like Florida, who have a ton of that. They have the size in the back end there. They have the puck moving ability out of their back end, but they also have the size, the toughness, the physicality to also, win those puck battles, wear you down, because when you are playing like that physical style and you have those big bodies there, that can wear the other team down as well and kind of tire them out a bit. So you got to have those big bodies, the physicality, and that's what Rangers really lack. And obviously Florida has a lot of that, and that is a big reason on why they were able to win the Stanley Cup and the Rangers were not able to get over the hump there and get the job done. So I think Chris Drury has been a major issue for this team. I think he should be fired, honestly, at this point, and I just want to see some major changes here because we have consistently seen these exact issues for so long now. And to me, it's not an easy fix. It's not like you go out there and get 2 specific guys and it fixes everything, but you at least have to try. And this past offseason, we did not see Chris Drury try. Going out there and getting a 4th-line center in Sam Carrick and, trading for Riley Smith was not good enough there. And that was never, ever going to fix our issues. I mean, Riley Smith at best is a second-line, winger at this point, playing an all right defensive game as well, producing a decent amount offensively. I mean, that's what he's going to do at best. He's not an elite player, not a true kind of top-line guy, especially at this point in his career. And Sam Carrick is a 4th-line center. That's what he is. I mean, he's a 4th-line center. I think he is a good and solid 4th-line center, and I'm happy with his contract that, a 3-year deal that he did sign this past offseason with a $1 million cap hit per season. I like that deal. I think it's a fine deal for what he can bring, and I think he is a nice 4th-line center. Brings that physicality, solid 2-way game, all that kind of stuff there. That is nice. So a good fourth line center. And he does bring a bit of physicality, which we definitely do need more of, but he is not going to bring enough of that. You need these kind of, top 9, top 6 kind of guys who can also bring that physicality like a Will Cooley, and on the back end as well, because we have guys like Ryan Lindgren and Keandre Miller who are not overly physical and definitely are not extremely tough players. So, I mean, Lindgren is in an aspect there, in an aspect where I think he's out there, being a tough player, willing to block shots and battle in the corners and stuff like that, but he's not going to be that kind of menacing presence out there where he's going around and really laying these big hits and really wearing down the other team there. It's going to bring some energy, but he's not going to bring that overall kind of, true elite kind of physicality toughness that we need more of and that we have seen in aspects on this team through guys like Will Cooley, who is, one of the top hitters once again this season, and in guys like Jacob Trouba that we previously had and stuff like that. But we really need to see more of that physicality that we have known we need more of for years now, but it just has not been addressed there, and the overall kind of just lack of size on the back end as well. With that toughness, I think, has been an issue in the puck moving ability. So there are a lot of issues with this New York Rangers team that need to be fixed, and it's not going to be an easy fix either, but Chris Drury at least has to give it a go, give it a try, and he did not do that, in my opinion, this past offseason. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. If you have enjoyed, definitely hit that like and subscribe button for daily New York Rangers content. I really, really do appreciate all of the support that you will show on these videos, whether you do agree with me in the comments down below or not. You just commenting, spreading your opinion and thoughts. I really do appreciate it. It helps the channel a ton. I love hearing your thoughts and opinions, so I really appreciate it more than you could ever know. The liking, the watching the videos here, the subscribing, the commenting, it helps a lot. I really do appreciate it. I have a ton of fun making these videos, so I'm so glad so many of you, other New York Rangers fans, like, talking New York Rangers hockey with me and other people in this community as well. So thank you so much for watching. Comment down below. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Let's go Rangers.